guys? This is Terrence Riley with Aganorsa Leaf, and you're listening to the Leaf and Ash podcast. Make sure to validate. Cheers.
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
What's happening?
Welcome. We got specialties today, baby. Got all four of us, guys. I hope y'all ready for this on a Sunday morning. Actually, Sunday afternoon. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. Sunday, 12 o'clock. JJ time and cigar down. What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Bro.
Man, this one caught me a little off guard. I was about to take a sip of my Powerade. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. How's everybody doing this Sunday morning? I keep on saying Sunday morning. I've been up since early this morning. How you guys doing, JJ? How you doing today, man? How you surviving out there, man?
Yeah. Got some storms coming in off and on. And I think they said we're supposed to get anywhere between 5 and 6.5 inches of rain over the weekend.
Cow.
Yeah. Like we need any more. But so far it's not bad.
Nah. How about you, PC? How you doing out there in the filthy streets?
Hey, man, I'm maintaining these streets, man, like I supposed to. It's a great day, man. Just happy to see my brothers again.
Nice. And Donnie Boy, what's up with you?
Just enjoying a day off, man. Just loving life.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Life of leisure.
Life of leisure is right. Hey, Zoe, how you doing? And so to me, guys, I woke up early this morning. I told you guys I went to service, got my little threads on, you know what I mean? Got no white beater at church today. Went to service, went to Costco, and I feel the man up above was testing me. I go to Costco, we needed some water, we needed some coffee, we needed some other stuff, right?
Did you need some sneakers?
No, I got coffee and I got water. So, mind you, I get these monstrosities, 40 bottles per case at Costco, right? I got about 4 of those and a pack of the 6-gallon jugs, plus some other stuff. And that cart's kind of heavy, right? Yeah, Cafe Black. What's up, Black? So I'm pushing the cart, and people just want to walk by you like you're not even there. They walk across, and then let me tell you, this one lady, I lie to you not, guys. Not only did she decide to stop in front of me short, she decided to have a whole full conversation. And all I could do is, Lord, I'm trying not to break no one's ankles today, And I'm going, what the heck?
What's up, Dina?
What's up? It is. And mind you, tomorrow's Memorial Day, right? So everybody's doing their barbecues either today or tomorrow. Yep. And it's my fault because I was supposed to get this done yesterday, but I got up and I just wasn't in the mood to deal with Costco. And I was like, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, okay. Well, I kicked myself in the foot for that one. Let me tell you, this absolutely bites. And then now I'm here enjoying it with my compadres, baby. And you're right, Costco is worse than Walmart.
We don't have a Costco around here. We have a Sam's.
Same concept.
Same concept. And it can get brutal in them places. It's like,
and what you got to realize about Costco is you can buy cigars there. They may not have a wide variety depending on the Costco's. Yeah, you can go.
In the liquor section.
Mine doesn't have a humidor.
See, no. What I've noticed at a lot of our convenience stores now, they're selling punch and like those little humidipacks and the Oliva.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You'll have that. You'll have punch. You'll have cohibas in there. And then you have like the quorums and other. A couple of expensive. Yard guards of the yard guards. But
there's a few places. Yeah, there's a few places in my neighborhood where I go to the local corner store or convenience store or bodegas, and they'll ask me, because I'm looking for certain cigars. Hey, what cigars you looking for? We'll order. I'm like,
Nice.
hey, yeah, man. So they're open.
So what are you guys smoking on? What are you smoking, JJ?
I'm smoking the Tatuaje Veracruz #1.
Say
And I
that.
left out like 9,000. This is a long name. This cigar is a Tatuaje Havana 6 Veracruz #1. Beautiful,
What?
long name.
Yeah, that's the red label.
Yep, it's a Nicaraguan Puro.
Yeah. What you smoking over there, PC?
Man, I got the H. Upman a nail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, love this little stick.
A little pungent. That got a little spice to it. They got a little that anejo ain't no joke, man. How about you, Donnie boy? What are you smoking?
I'm going a little lighter today. I'm going with the Man of War Virtue.
Okay.
In the Salomon size, and I got myself a nice, refreshing gin and champagne.
Oh, wow, Donnie boy, taking it to a whole new level today, man.
Man, I just got that old sweet tea going.
Doing this on the cigar. That's right. Yeah, that's right. He says no. Some of us, 12 hours. Yeah, Don and I were on the Cigar Dudes podcast. They had invited us just to chop it up. Well, I have on a backup. The same Salomon, but this was the Ruination as a backup.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
But I am smoking my house blend. Look at this cellophane, guy.
Thing look like, man, that looks like
Yeah.
every high school girl I went to high school with in 2008. That spray tan. That's what they looked like.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you.
With all that oil in that cellophane, you could just smoke the cellophane and get the same effect.
Yeah, what's up, BZ?
I was about to ask you, did you have it buried in the backyard in a
Man, so it's crazy because I told you guys I bought a bundle. So the bundles for my shop are from Espinosa, the house blends that they got, and there's people want to say that the AJ's part of AJ's factory and stuff like that. Whether they are or not, they're good. Either way, okay. To me, this was $6.
Oh, see, you can't beat that.
It was $6. It's just, they kind of remind me of the Warhead, the 601.
Oh,
okay. I'm gonna tell you that it has that type of spice, that type of pungency, that it has a nice kick to it, and for $6. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take a bundle. The bundle's like $78, $79. I'm like, I'll take it. And almost every one of them that I pulled out, matter of fact, I sent you guys one. That's what it is. When you guys, I don't know if any of them are that as dark as that cellophane, but I know a couple of them are. All right, have you guys smoked it yet?
No, I thought we were saving it for. I thought that was a blind smoke thing. So
no, the blind smoke thing was the one with our bands on it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did you guys smoke that one yet?
Nope.
Okay. Don't scare me. Don't scare me now.
This is
I smoked mine. You have to send me another one.
Yeah,
they're pretty dark.
Yeah, man. It's they've been marinating for a little bit, Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, so now that JJ does that, right? So we had a newcomer, right, at the shop, and you guys know I'm always there willing to help. I just grabbed the stick, and I guess the guy thought I worked there, so I was like, I'll run with it. So he's like, yeah, I was given an anniversary cigar. I go, well, anniversary from who? Right? I'm like, an anniversary from who? Because I said, everybody has an anniversary. I just don't know who it is. He goes, no, those going to be, I think who gave it to me was expensive. I said, there's got to be a Padron. Right? He goes, it's very creamy, very like whatever. And I said, well, I get that. And what does he do? He grabs a Padron. I go, bud, are you going to buy that stick? He goes, no. I go, did you just realize what you just did? I go, listen, you just put a stick. First of all, you grabbed it with both hands and you put it, you didn't go like this. You went, like you put your nostrils on them. Like, dude, like I go, let me give you a little bit. I said, I'm not trying to treat you like a child, man, but I need you to understand that there's just certain things you just do not do in a humidor. It's bad enough people already pick them up, right, with their hand.
Right.
Especially if it has a cellophane, it is what you. And that baffles me when you see people grab the cellophane and they do. Like, what do you expect to smell through a cellophane, right? So I go, dude, that's a cardinal sin, man. You don't pick up a stick inside the humidor that doesn't have cellophane and put it to your nostrils. I go, someone else is gonna have to smoke that. You know what I mean?
We're gonna end up with double barrel pink eye because of it. I mean, a little bit of humidor etiquette can go a long way.
Yeah.
A little bit.
What is this? What is it? Comment says, what is it? I'm a new fan of Talos. I tried a $12 5-pack. I like it. 4 out of 5 of them. Camo series. I didn't care for the suit. Yeah, you know, you got to be careful. If you don't enjoy those type of sweet cigars, you know, the best thing to do. But you know what? Before I even finish my comment, you said you like 4 out of. What was wrong with the 5th one? Did you just got like overwhelmed with it? Or you just got tired of it, or did you you're like, okay, you know, the last one wasn't that good. Plum,
Plume, not phlegm. when you want plume on your cigar, not phlegm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I'm enjoying that little Figurado, the Mark Twain, the pen.
People need to stop sleeping on Mark Twain cigars.
You know what? I was one of them. Let me tell you, I got that Riverboat series, that Riverboat. Another great smoke. You know, and mind you, I think I like the pen a little bit better. But yeah, there it is. That's the Riverboat right there. Good barbecue, beautiful. I mean, it's a great smoke. To me, I like that smoke in the morning just the same. If I'm in the mood, you know, especially if I'm gonna watch service inside the garage and I'll have my coffee and I'll have that stick because it's a lighter smoke for me.
Are you wearing your sneakers?
I'm wearing no sneakers. I'm wearing my you know,
Got slides on.
This garage right now is so smoked out, but I don't want to open up that garage door. It's like 198 degrees outside right now, man.
Oh.
It's just so nasty outside, man. But and I have the fan blowing on me, and all it's doing is blowing all that smoke that's out of the garage right into my face. But yeah. So, Colin, what was it about the 5th one you didn't like? I'm curious. Because that's happened to me like that. I'll buy a 5-pack, even like from Seabid, right? The first one's okay. The second is about better because it's been sitting in the humidor. You know, the 4th, and then all of a sudden that last one, you think it's sitting the longest, and then it's like, what the hell just happened to the cigar?
That or it's a sampler pack, you know, and you like 4 out of the 5, and the 5th one you're like, oh, I can't wait to smoke that one, and you're like,
That's the worst, dude. That is truly the worst. All right, so hold on, let me see what's the. So
hey, but I don't know if you guys saw the did I send you guys the picture of the undercrown sun-grown that I had, which is a little petite, and it had a beetle in it. And yeah, so I was like, man, thank God for cello, you know. So it didn't spread to the rest of my sticks. So,
listen, I love Don's comment. Great, now I got to worry about cigar warts. Dude, that was hilarious. So let me see. Let me show you guys the picture. Hold on, where is it at?
But before we get too far gone, man, I want to say happy belated birthday to our friend, you know, Black South, man.
Yeah, man.
I got it right here.
Yeah, I just said yeah.
Damn,
Dude, that boy, it looks like it was hatching.
Yeah,
that's
going veins, man.
Dude, that, and mind you, that's I don't know if I could have smoked that one, man. You know.
No, I 86 that bad boy, man.
But Don cracked me up. Now I got to worry about cigar warts.
That's what it looked like a wart on the side of the cigar. I was like, great. That's another thing to worry about here.
Oh yeah. You guys got any plans for today? After this?
I think I'm gonna have to go get a rowboat to get in my backyard. Yeah, but I got the Blackstone all cleaned off last weekend. I'll probably get it nice and seasoned up and throw some burgers and some dogs and stuff on there.
That's what I did. I got some on the Costco. Got a big old thing of ground meat.
Mm-hmm.
And, normally what I'll do is I like pouring dry onions on them as I'm making the patties.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll take it, put it in a big bowl, mush it up, throw the dry onions on it, mix it up. Then I put some adobo. You know what I mean? A little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper.
I can smell it.
Yeah, and then I'll make my patties and let them sit, let them marinate until tomorrow.
And speaking of marinate, when are you ever going to come off of those 2 or 3 secret spices for those ribs and that steak?
I'm sorry, you broke up, huh?
Yeah.
No, that
you heard what the man said.
steak we had in Tampa.
I could have sworn I heard Charlie Brown's mom on the phone. That's all like
let me tell you what, that was a beautiful meal. That was good.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And mind you, those steaks were marinated for like 3-4 days before I grilled them.
I ate that. There was nothing left.
Yeah. So JJ could tear up some steak, boy.
And I
think any of us finished it but JJ.
Yeah, I say my normal is a 23-ounce porterhouse is what I normally eat.
You know what? I've had my share of 22, 23. But so the New York steaks, they were about that long and about that thick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that boy JJ, let me tell you, and I made what we made with baked potato, right?
Yep.
All the fixings and stuff. But then what I make you? I can't remember what the hell I made you for breakfast. What I make you guys for breakfast? Make some omelets. Some omelets.
Omelets.
Some spam, onions, cheese. Onions, tomatoes, green peppers, some cheese, and some spam. Oh, I love spam. I love you some spam, man. Jay, I showed you my coaster.
You did. That thing's bad A.
Ooh, man. Check that out, man. It's pretty cool. Like I said, I wish it was a little thicker, but you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? You get what you pay for. One thing that I realized when I had my drink on the table last night, that it sweats right through it. So the table was sweating with it, and I kept on wiping the take. I did not want the table to get that O-ring on it. It's a brand new table that you guys know that my best friend bought me for my birthday. Another great budget manga is McAuliffe. I just had the purple. Check out my review of the walk.
Hey, I really like that purple. We got it in the sample pack that we got from the Great Smoke. That was a really good cigar. That was a really good cigar.
I have not had it yet.
And I'm gonna have to revisit the McAuliffe Black. I've smoked one, and I'm definitely gonna have to revisit it just to make sure it wasn't just a fluke.
Okay. All right. So County has a thing called the Silent Cigar Review Show. And what platform is that on? Is it on YouTube, TikTok? What is it on there, boss? Man, where's Pat? Man, where you at, Pat?
That's what I'm saying. Come on, get on in, boy.
I'm surprised he hasn't popped on. But anyways, guys. So yeah. So today's my nephew's birthday. Everybody's down in Hollywood Beach. So after this, I'm gonna be changing, going out there and you know. Yeah, the crazy. Nah, I won't put that out here. I won't put this out there. But it's my nephew's birthday, and they've been out there since 11. Man, it's hot as heck now. I couldn't even imagine. It's on YouTube, okay, and it's called the Silent Cigar Review Show. So by all means, guys, look them up, subscribe, and help a brother out.
Yeah, dude. Hell, maybe he can come on here one day and tell us about it.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I'll tell you what, if you want, how do you pronounce his name? Is it me?
Josephus.
Josephus?
Josephus.
Josephus? Is that how you pronounce your name, boss? I don't want to sound disrespectful. I'm just gonna call you Comedy, man. Or Jay. Hey, Jay. Are you gonna start already?
Collaborate and have come. Oh my God.
Wow. It's in the style. Outside. The Silent Hero episode features my poetry with my dog named Han.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what, man. If you ever want to come on, let us know. We'll send you the link and you can join us. And what we could do is we could coordinate. Maybe we you give a recommendation for a cigar and we'll go hunt it down or somewhat, and then we can all do our own little review with you if you don't mind.
That'd be sweet.
Right? And that would be something new, right? Have someone that comes and supports us, and we just, and that's another thing. If you guys want to come on these type of segments, because this is something new for all of us that we just started, and it seems to be working with us. And what I love about this is the interactions that we've been getting with this platform, right? Yeah. It's a lot different than when we have a special guest from the industry. I kind of favored this a little bit more. I don't know about you guys. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy having our guests, and I enjoy talking and getting, deep in conversation with these guys that we all look up to and we all enjoy their cigars. But to me, this is what it's all about, right? It's all about, talking to other enthusiasts, other people that enjoy smoking cigars and getting their insights of it, I'll celebrate my 45th, what is it? My 45th trip around the sun on the 28th. I was born 10 days after Mount St. Helens erupted. Okay.
Damn.
Hey, Comedy. That's older than JJ. Just saying, putting it out there.
Yeah. Hey. But I think I'm 36, but when I have that beard going, I can definitely pass a couple years up. Or
Well, but you know what it is. I mean, and I get it, but we always bust your chop being the baby of the group. But you know what? You definitely have an old soul.
Oh yeah, dude,
you definitely got an old soul, man. Which is is not the norm.
Josephus, like Bocephus.
Oh, Josephus. Josephus. Oh, all right, Josephus. So Josephus, like I said, if you ever want to chop it up with us on one of these segments, let us know. Either send me or one of the other guys your email, and we'll link up with you if you're interested in coming on.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
And I favor this too, because no offense to anybody we've ever had on as far as, the guys in the industry, but we get more interaction doing stuff this way because I believe people come here. It's not the guest, it's us. People are coming for.
Right.
And you can see that because, we put, me racking when we're all nervous and racking our brains to have a guy on there. And then you see the views, and then we just chop it up, and it just kills that last video. And you're like, it makes me feel good because people are here for us.
Right.
They don't care who's in the middle of the screen. They're here for us four.
I think part of it is we can be and I say this with all love to you, we can be the idiots that we are. I mean, just chop it up and bust balls and have a good time and you're like you just said that you don't have to be on your P's and Q's. You don't. What was the last cigar you made in the industry? That kind of, we're all trying to have good questions. We're all trying to have good, good interaction, but there's only so many things you can ask a guy, It's like,
Oh my Lord. Don, you're too much, dude. You're too much. Oh man, you made me cry, man.
That's what happens when you start day drinking at noon.
Apparently so, man. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, buddy.
That's
It's 5
right.
o'clock somewhere.
Yep.
Oh man. But yeah, I'll listen. I'm definitely gonna be getting up as soon as we're done with this. I'll be changing and heading down south and spend a little time with the family out there. The missus is working. My son, I don't know if he's still sleeping. It must be nice to be 18 and still be sleeping at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Sunday. You know. Look
So
to your gift flavors. First century Jewish story. So look up the silent. Okay. I see another podcast.
Definitely gonna check it out.
I see. Yeah.
you know, and we've definitely heard that. Like a lot of people, and even the guests we've had, they like the way we do things. Our format, it's different, and that's what sets us apart. You know, I said, and we're all knuckleheads in our own ways. We all have, a part of our what's the word I'm looking for?
A niche. We all, you couldn't ask for four different people to get together.
Yeah.
Hey, we like to say we'll fit in. If a comic could realize what our dynamics are, it will make a great joke.
It'll be a good skit.
You know, there's
right
about each and every one of our personalities is, I think, the word I was looking for. That people can latch on to.
And I've said that before, right? Because there are certain people that gravitate to JJ that might not necessarily gravitate to me because of, you know, they don't know better. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just playing. But the things that's what I love about our dynamics, right? Because we all come from different walks of life, right?
Right.
And they're going to be people that either that could relate to one of us, and that's what I actually love about our group. You know, I truly, I really love this dynamic. I really do enjoy the way we do it. And we all said it, right? We sit in a round table. There's nobody at the head of the table in this group.
Oh,
You know, it's just not a one-man show.
And you say that, you know, we might be the most diverse show, you know, with four different people. And also, you know, like we just behind the scenes, we shoot around ideas. Hey, so one of the ideas that PC and I had when we were just shooting it around, and I hope you don't mind me putting this out there, but we have a friend of ours, Clint, Memento Cigars. He wears a suit every time. If he's in a public forum, he's wearing a suit. So I said, what would be funny, because none of us dress up like that. What would be funny is all of us came on in a suit and to interview him. And then JJ comes back and is like, well, guys, I might have to sit that one out. I don't got a suit. So he started talking about the Oklahoma tuxedo.
The Canadian, what was that called?
The Canadian tuxedo or something.
Yeah.
With them skins, baby.
That would make it even funnier if you had like the bolo tie and the skins on.
I pictured, okay, so it just popped in. I could picture JJ wearing those overalls, right? No shirt underneath and a bow tie.
I'll do it.
That would be funnier. It'd make it even funnier.
And then we have to give you a stripper name at that point.
I'm telling you, man, dude, that is hilarious, man.
See, just call me Milkbone.
Milkbone.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, the one and only Oklahoma Milkbone.
Milkbone?
I'll be Milkbone.
Contain yourself, ladies.
That's it, ladies. They're not ready.
So something funny that JJ, like when we were going to Tampa the first time, and when we went to South Florida for the Great Smoke, we always give JJ a rash of shit about wearing them skins, wearing his snakeskin boots, and he has the same response. It's like, yep, divorce rate's going to go up threefold when I step off that plane.
Hey, I'm telling you what, it didn't quite do that in Louisiana, but
yeah, you're right in the element there, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man, JJ showed up to South Florida with some Hugger Nut jeans and sneakers and some skins. I was about to say sneakers with some skins, boy. They weren't ready.
They weren't
ready for the mud.
And I wasn't ready either.
Well, you kept sitting your cup on different tables.
Yeah, freaking JJ. And you know what? And it's fun because one of those pictures popped up on my, you know how it is, what year, month, whatever. And the one that popped up was when JJ walked into Cigar International. That video,
never forget.
No, and you see him, he's like a kid in the candy store that's never seen all these toys, you know. It's like, and I'm like, JJ, you all right? He goes, man, you could put the entire store of Guapos in this humidor, including the parking lot.
Yeah. And you guys realize that I think I have the date right. I might be a couple days off, but June 2nd was our first podcast. We're coming up on a year doing this. And do you guys remember what we talked about the first podcast?
Nope.
Going to Tampa?
No, Santiago Cigars.
Yes.
Right.
It's actually one of our better episodes too, view-wise.
You know what? And the thing, man, you guys are gonna kill me. He was down here. I don't know if he's still. I doubt he's down. He was supposed to show up the day after my birthday on the 20th. He was in Miami. You know, and obviously I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't have made it on the 20th because I was hurting on the 20th. And and it's crazy because, like I said, I got more tore up on my actual birthday at the Hard Rock than I did at the party. Because the party, I really needed to pace myself.
No, you did really good at the party. Because you had a bunch of different groups of people that you were visiting with, and it was, you were bouncing around the room, and so you had to, don't get me wrong, you enjoyed yourself, but you didn't get to it. When we were on that night, I can't remember what we were on, and we must have been on somebody's Discord or something, and you showed up from the Hard Rock, and you said, "Yeah, I've had a couple of double Woodfords," and then you went into the Davidoff Lounge. You're like, "Yeah, give me a double Woodford." I'm like, "Oh, this guy's gonna be hurting tomorrow, baby."
Well, I had I told you guys, at least 7 or 8 doubles of Woodford that night. Oh yeah, the panels. Did I share the picture of the drive home that the missus took of me?
You did. That was the greatest thing ever.
Dude, hold on. Let me see if here it goes. Don't judge me.
You're being judged, I promise.
Out cold, man. Got look, mouth open and everything, man. I'm catching freaking flies, bro.
It's even better.
Oh my god, I was tore up from the floor up, man. I really was. So yeah, I mean, and I absolutely, you know what? I was so blessed, and I'm still blessed. You know that I got friends like you guys. You know, that people from my shop showed up. I mean, there was well over 100 people at the shop. You know, and I'm trying to get that video of my speech that I only got like 3 words in, and I started choking. But I pushed through it. It was very short and to the point. You know, so you guys can get an idea of how my lounge is in regards to, you know, how close we are as a whole, you know, in the group in this lounge. You know,
it's neat to see. You know, we always play the commercial at the end of our podcast with your lounge. You know, because they do it. You know, they do us a solid. They sponsor us and they do all that stuff. But I think for people to see that thing, because it's empty. When you did the filming, it was empty. You know, you obviously did it when they were closed. To see it with 100 people in there, just having a great time and enjoy. You know, we got to experience it on poker night. We got to experience it on other nights. You know, and just to have that contrast of this empty building. And look, it's a beautiful place. The members lounge is beautiful. It's you know, all leather chairs, all the good stuff. But then to see it full of people makes it that much more special. You know, just and especially when you know all those people are there for you. You know, and you know, chopping it up. And I don't know. You know, I talked to Sal a little bit that night, just thanking him for you know, for what he does for us, and you know, having that special event. I don't know if they closed that night for the public or the public was welcome. I don't know what all they did, but it was obviously everybody there was there for you, and just based on the amount of alcohol and cigars you took home that night was pretty special. You know,
and what I liked about it too is, you know, when we were there visiting, we're sitting in the members only lounge, you know, and we're guests. Nobody cares. They, like I said, everybody opened their lockers, drinks, cigars. You can never replicate that place.
Yeah, the hospitality was next to none, man. Because
Right.
when they greeted us when we walked in the door, it kind of scared me a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
Oh shoot. And then it clicked. Oh, they know you, but you didn't think about that.
Go to another lounge and just go walk in their members only part and just sit down and enjoy. They're going to get your choochie ass out of here. They treated us, like we were kings those few nights. They treated us real well, and it's something I'll never forget.
I appreciate it. But, in regards to that night, I think what they did was at 6 o'clock, it was just private party.
Yeah.
So you guys Don got to meet Manny. Manny is new to our lounge. He's the new employee, and he got his cherry pop, boy.
Oh, yeah.
That boy got, let me tell you.
Was that his first night?
Well, his first Saturday night with that many people, because you understand.
Okay.
So my lounge is kind of a little off on Saturdays because it gets busy to a certain point, then it just dies down, right?
Right.
But this Saturday, that particular Saturday, obviously, all these people came in, and one of the owners wasn't able to make it because it was his wife's birthday, and they were out to St. Augustine. Sal came for a couple of hours. In between, but luckily Miguelito, Miguel, he also works there, so he's
Describe Miguel. This guy is what, 4'8", and full of piss and vinegar, though, man. Just
dude, we call him the most interesting man in the world. If you ever seen that Dos Equis commercial, picture him, that guy, mini version. That's all I gotta say. It's just mini version, the mini me, and it was yeah. So yeah,
and I don't say this to make you get teary. Actually, I do because I want to see it. But the people that showed up, the people that showed up that you probably didn't expect to be there. Windows showed up. All your guys that they may be dealing with whatever they're dealing with in life. Showed up because it was your birthday, and that's something special, man.
Seeing Windows there, see why
it's crazy. I don't even know Windows' name, but I just he's hey, I'm Windows. How you doing? Yeah.
Windows is he's going through it, and and I'll share it. He's fighting cancer. You know what I mean? And to see a guy that's how we remember him and see how frail he is now, it's heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time that he showed up for my birthday. He's the one that gifted me 6, 7 opuses.
Opuses, yeah. When he pulled them out of his shirt and gave it, I was like, my birthday's coming up sometime this year. No.
Yeah. So I won't confirm or deny. Somebody wants to try a 4-pack for one of my opuses. And you know what? On any other given day, I would. But you know what? I probably would never smoke. I'm probably never going to smoke those. Maybe I'll smoke one. You know what I mean? Only because,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. I saw the
but that's the thing though. We just like you say, the atmosphere in the lounge, man, and when people are going through things, you can kind of, you can change their situation because, that gives them, more hope to, fight and live on and do some things because, that vibe, man, that energy that you put off, it helps people in certain situations.
Yeah. I mean, the little bit of a scare I had. I mean, luckily that shit on my head and on my ear wasn't the C word. It very well could have been.
I told you I had the same thing, man. They kept on freezing it, it kept on growing back. It froze it, kept on growing, and it starts getting nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Right. So, finally I told her, I said, do me a favor, just cut it off and just biopsy it and see. Came back negative, thank God. But they have found one on my inner thigh. No, my hamstring.
It's a family show.
Yeah. So That one, when they cut it out, it showed potential cells.
Yeah.
What do? They go in there and they cut and everything around it, and
they get clean margins. Yeah.
Yep. And now every 6 months I got to go for an inspection, right? And there was a period of time that every 6 months I was getting something cut out.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I started getting nervous. I'm like, what the heck, man? You know? And now I got this little one, this black one right here. You see it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's gotten darker, which is a little concerning.
So I got one under each. I got one under this eye. You know, and me, I'm a landscaper by trade, so I'm outside all day in a sweltering heat. So when you get something like that, you're just like, maybe I should be, you know, a nice big brimmed hat, maybe, you know, put a little bit SPF on the ears. And
JJ, I'll tell you this too, and you're younger than the rest of us, and this may be ease your mind a little bit. As you get older, they'll start cutting more and more off, more and more things off. Like you're like, finally, you know, when you start, you're like, all right, just cut it off, man. Just let me know later. You know, the first time they do that, you're like, you can't like, because it takes like a week between the cutoff and you get the, you know, you get the results and that kind of stuff. It's
that biopsy, waiting for the biopsy results is, and and what's worse about like my dermatologist, she won't tell you over the phone. You physically got to go. And my first time ever having it happen, and they're like, "Oh, how you doing, Mr. We need you to come in. We have the results of your biopsy." You're
like, "Well, I got to come in."
I go, "Is everything okay?" Well, I don't have that information, but I was just, dude. I said, "We're going now. We're going now. I'm not waiting 2 weeks. Even if I got to wait 3 hours in that lobby, I'll wait the 3 hours because whatever it is, I want to know now."
They got to get you in the office to charge you in and make sure that they're billing out. So, but you know, like when we were down there, your wife kept us with something to keep us from catching a cold or you know something going on. You got to take those natural remedies, like with soursop. It's nasty, but it you know it has you know properties that help your immune system along, you know to kind of combat, you know, anything with cancer and stuff like that. I even drank a soursop tea, you know, just to avoid the natural soursop.
And PC, just to back up on that, I bought some of that stuff that Jen gave us when we were down there, and my liver feels great.
I need some.
I don't know how you tell if your liver feels great or not, but in my mind it feels great.
And your body functions at a different level.
Yeah. See, I love drinking green tea, you know, and I like the non-caffeine, all natural. I don't put sugar. I don't put any creamer in there. And green tea is known to tear up and eat away any type of cancer cells and stuff like that. Whether it's true or not, I don't care. Psychologically, it does, so I drink it all the time. My guys at my job make fun of me all the time with me drinking tea. You know, I have my own little kettle that we won, during Christmas.
And I'm the bougie one. I'm just saying.
It was gifted to me. Well, it wasn't gifted. It was one of those things that, you know, what do you call the Secret Santa? You know,
I got my own little kettle. I got my own little kettle. Yeah.
It ain't little. It's like this big, buddy, and it's electric. So whatever. So. Get him! Look at this.
There's one from the top row. That's my daughter.
Yeah. And Adina said it. You're right. They should call me. It is a money grab. It's like, even after I did my last procedure, right, I had to go back and pay another copay. I go, but if this is a follow-up, it should fall under the original copay.
Right.
I'm a little confused. And I'm like, you know what? You're here to get the results, pay the damn copay, and just so that we, you know, and luckily everything was good. And,
you know, and with me being native, and I got sent by my Indian clinic, and through the tribe I work for, I have that Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they covered everything. And that's one of the benefits working for the tribe is their benefits are too hard. They're just, you can't beat it. I mean, it's
not.
Yeah, government level, it's good stuff.
Yep, and if you saw what they charge your insurance for, yeah, you're right. It's all the same. But you know what? I might get myself a trail. It's bigger than Panda. You know what, Medina? You know what? I'm like get as much money as you can from the insurance company. Just saying, no offense, Don. You know, get as much money because I'm trying to think. I think it's Chris Rock. Hold on.
I never want to hear you bitch about what you're paying for your insurance premiums again. Then,
but the thing is this, so right? But it ain't about what I'm paying. It's not what I'm paying, right? Because hold on, I'm gonna get to because I have no issues paying because this is my coverage. You not had you read my coverage to make sure that I'm good, right? I don't mind paying for it. My problem is that when I when I need to put in a claim, that's when the battle begins, right? You have no qualms taking my money on a month. Now I could be in this house for 15, 20 years, never have a claim. I put in one claim, I get denied, or there's a battle. And I'm not saying you, Don. Don't take this offense directly to you.
I'm not because I agree with you somewhat. However, insurance is nothing more than a contract. It says if X happens, then Y can happen. If X doesn't happen, then Y can't happen.
And I agree with that. And I agree with that. The argument now is right is pricing, right? You know, because what you think might cost $1,500, I got a contractor saying no, this is $3,500. You know, and it's for the contractor to justify to the insurance company why it's $3,500, right? And that's where the battle begins. To me, and I was going back to the Chris Rock. Chris Rock says, you know, insurance should be just in case, right? That's all insurance is, just in case ish happens, right? You know, and some people like that, because I know people right now that are so over the homeowners insurance because right here in South Florida, it's going through the roof, right? And then you have insurance companies that are, especially down here in South Florida, that are dropping people on their very first claim, and now you're fighting to get another insurance company. And then the mortgage companies say, well, you have to have insurance, and if you don't get insurance on your own, we're going to get it for you, and we'll get whatever we can in regards to it, you know?
Well, and that's the thing. These insurance companies are looking out for their bottom line, and also the mortgage companies and the insurance company, they consider, you know, your property to be theirs until you pay it off. And they're going to look out for their bottom line. They're going to look out for their revenue. So
now, see, I have a little bit of a different perspective because I work for a not-for-profit insurance company, which is
right. Some
people look at me and go, huh? So I work for a nonprofit insurance company. So I don't have those same battles every day but you are right in the fact that, you know, some of the bigger companies, and I won't name names, but you all know who they are. That Josephus just named one of them. That they are looking out for the bottom line, and I don't think so. The company that I work for is a wind pool in North Carolina, and what we do is when those big companies come in and say, we want your homeowners insurance, we want all this money, but we don't want to write the wind insurance because that's what's going to happen.
Right.
I think that should be, if I'm using very tame word, I think that should be frowned upon, because if you're going to take my homeowners insurance, you should take everything. But, you know, but what happens is those companies will say, well, we don't want to write your wind insurance. And when the state comes back and says, no, you have to, they just pull out of the state. And each one of them they have a different company set up in each state. So they just close that company for that state. Fine, we won't write in your state. So companies like mine have to exist to bridge that coverage, you know?
Well, you think about this, like we had our earthquake here in Georgia, and I don't have a rider on my insurance. So if my house would have got damaged or or something like that, I would have been screwed. I would have to take care of that out of pocket because I don't have a rider on my insurance. And a lot of people don't realize, especially if you live around water, lakes, or in a hurricane tornado area, if you don't have certain riders on your insurance, then you get screwed. You left to pay, you know, for the damages that you haven't added to your insurance. And most people, you got to go to them. They're not going to volunteer that information to you or volunteer that.
The two major things that aren't covered are flood and earthquake. That's the two major things that have happened that aren't covered on all homeowners insurance policies. Yeah. You have to have separate coverage for those things, and you know, that's a little bit, you know, I have certain feelings about, especially flood. We're all dealing with flood stuff, and I think insurance companies look at it and say, let's look at the one thing that's going to happen and exclude it, but.
Yeah. And the problem with earthquakes, or, especially, right, you're worrying about foundation, right?
Mhm.
About home, right? Because it could literally shift your entire home and crack the foundation. And most insurance companies are not going to cover your foundation.
Nope.
Because basically what that is just basically you're going to have to rebuild the entire home all over again.
Right.
And then you're talking about a double-edged sword, right? So you have a cracked foundation, you have no insurance to do it. Nobody's going to buy your home because you have structural damage of it, right? So then what do? Right? So then what do? It's like, wow. I would hate to be in that predicament. So here in Florida, we deal with hurricanes, and from time to time we'll get tornadoes that they'll hit. Last year we had probably the most that we've had, and we've had some that were not that far from our home, and caused a lot of damage on the north side of my city. And it's not, and then a lot of those people aren't covered, because they, no one prepares for tornadoes.
No,
Right.
dude. It's like where I'm at, you have to be insured to the gills because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, you guys have seen in the short time we've been compadres how nutty my weather is here in this 4-state area I live in. Anything from gorilla hail, just 90-mile-an-hour straight winds, F4, F5 tornadoes every other day, it seems like anymore. So it's and where I live, it's susceptible to flooding. The whole south end of town, that's all it does. It floods.
Hey, you might wake up and find yourself walking down the yellow brick road because of the tornado.
Toto, you never know.
Yeah. Nadina says she has to carry separate insurance on an earthquake. It says $1,400 a year. See, now when you hear $1,400, to me, that doesn't sound like a lot, right? To me, but when you add $1,400 on top of what you're already paying, and I can only imagine what you're paying in taxes, insurance out there in California, right? Because I know what it is here in Florida, and the things are going through the roof. This is why I wish that there was no borders for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I think it would alleviate a lot of the nonsense of these insurance companies leaving. Like, there's a lot of insurance companies that have left Florida because of insurances.
And what that does is it taxes the public market. Like Florida has Florida Citizens, and that's the same kind of company that I work for in North Carolina. But in Florida, they have Citizens, and they're taxed to the gills because companies are moving out, and they don't have the infrastructure and the structure in their business to do that.
But you find a lot of states, fighting the insurance companies for you, trying to make things better. But you look at auto insurance, man. I'm gonna tell you just like this. There's no loyalty in auto insurance. If you see where you can get a better insurance every 6 months to a year, switch companies. But just make sure that company has a good reputation for taking care of their claims or whatnot. So, and I'll tell you, don't just file a frivolous claim.
Yeah. Listen, here in Florida's a no-fault state. Okay, Florida's a no-fault state. So not only do you have to carry insurance for yourself, you got to carry non-coverage for the other person that might have caused the crash.
Yeah.
So basically down here, what ends up happening is your insurance pays the damage to your car, and then they go after their insurance. But guess what happens if you don't have insurance? Right? It falls on me. And guess what happens to my insurance? It goes up.
Rates go up. Yeah.
Wait a minute, time out. I didn't cause this accident. And now now my insurance are going through the roof. I go, for what?
Yeah.
It gets, this is
like these right here. A couple years back, I broke one of my phones, which I'm hard on phones. So I go to the dealer that I go through my cellular device, whatever you call it.
Provider,
the provider, and told him, I need to do an insurance claim and get a new phone.
Mm-hmm.
I've already paid enough insurance to buy 10 of these phones, and they want to give me a refurbished phone.
Oh no!
I want a brand new phone.
Yes, sir.
I've paid enough insurance to buy 5 of these phones, and through enough of
But
pulling
then
the
you go back and look at your homeowners. You also have to have additional insurance to cover anybody that's coming onto your property. And if you got let's say you got a pothole, and you know that you have a pothole, you need to stick a sign in the yard say, "Be careful, pothole right here," to kind of cover yourself, because now you're alarming the people that's visiting your home of the liability, and you can find yourself being sued or claimed.
That happened to my uncle. So my uncle, so you guys can visit my house. So in the front door you have that step, right? And I've even though I know it's there, sometimes the porch light doesn't light up because it's supposed to be a sensor light. Well, apparently the sensor light didn't light up, and this individual fell and she broke her leg.
Wow.
Now, mind you, this individual has regular health insurance. She went and turned around and sued my uncle's home insurance. And I was like, but you have regular insurance. Why would you go? Oh, that's why he like. Why? But why? Like, what's the? You know what I mean? And yeah, man. So now, when we had the party, when we had the housewarming party, I had two people fall. One person fell down coming into the garage. They didn't realize there was a step down, and one fell in the front. Man, all that came into my mind was that incident with my uncle. And luckily, I got people that are like, "I'm good. I'm all right." I'm like, you never know. People say they're good, they're all right until they get hurt, right?
Right.
And,
right.
And she's like, and she was like, "Well, why should I go through my insurance?" I'm like, because you have health insurance. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Now, and mind you, my uncle was like willing to pay whatever their copay was. You know what I mean? They're like, listen, whatever, because she needed surgery. You know what I mean? And my uncle's like, I'll pay for whatever your copays are. But go through your insurance and I'll take care of it. Nope. Not only did she sue to get everything paid off with the surgery, but everything after, and then they gave her extra money. And now friendship completely just dissolved.
Absolutely.
And it's just, that's absolute bananas to me, man. Yeah, my triple car insurance was paying $280 now, $500 now. Lord, what the heck? That's crazy, man. Black. I listen. You and Adina, I don't know how you guys, deal with those taxes out there, and I guess you kind of get accustomed to it, just like anybody else. Florida's taxes are we're like right in the middle as far as taxes. Whether it's sales tax or just regular, but our homeowners. So now what's happening? These insurance companies are going after everybody that has a roof. Now, mind you, your roof is supposed to be good for 20 years, allegedly, right? Now, if you purchase a home and it has, let's say, 15 years on that in order for them to cover you, they're telling you need to put in a new roof.
Right.
It's insane. And mind, there's nothing wrong with the roof. It's past inspections. You still have 5 years left on it. Mind, you just bought this home. And so that was one of the things that when we were looking to buy houses out here, my number one thing was, how old is the roof, right? Because out here it's like 20, 30 grand, depending on the size of your house. How's the foundation? And also, because I have a well and septic tank, I got to make sure, when was the last time you cleaned out your septic tank? When was the last? The septic tank you can physically see, right? You can open it up and see if it's been cleaned out. The issues that we have is the drain field, as we all, that I experienced a couple months ago, right? There's no way to see whether or not that field has been, redone, and we found out that it wasn't. It looked like it was the original, drain field. And this house was built in '86. That cost me a pretty penny. Relatively low, but state tax coverage, guaranteed disability, and family leaving, among other stuff. See, and that's not bad.
No,
that's not bad at all. But to me, I just think that I really wish that they will open up the border for insurance to make these insurance companies fight for your money. And I think that you'll see things start dropping. You know what I mean? As far as, premiums and stuff like that, especially, your annuals. But I know DeSantis right now is talking about giving. There was a big thing about him trying to get rid of property taxes, which I would absolutely love. But that's like it's impossible to get rid of property taxes.
But you just know they're going to make it up somewhere else.
Of course,
they can't let that revenue go without. You're going to pay higher sales taxes. You're going to pay higher whatever.
Exactly, and that was the argument. But what I think what they agreed upon is maybe reducing it to reduce $1,000 per home. Now think about it. If you own a townhome or a condominium or a villa, your taxes, might be a little over $1,000. But if they take off that $1,000, you're saving yourself some money every month or annually as a whole.
Yeah.
Hey, but here's how they can counteract that is if they have a consumption tax. It doesn't have to be a large consumption tax. If you have a consumption tax, you're going to create more taxes for properties, and you're going to have a surplus at the end of the year. That way, in Florida, if you don't have an income tax or a property tax, they're going to create a hell of a lot of revenue just off of consumption tax. Let's say you're paying 7%. Let's just say on the consumption tax for a property, they add 2 to 3%. Man, can you imagine the money that's generated on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis, when people make their purchases for groceries, clothes, and God knows whatever? And I know, it may be a little expensive or whatever, but you have no problem. You have a surplus of money if they create a consumption tax. And I think that's the way it should be, nationwide. There should be a consumption tax. You bring all of your money home, and then you make the decision on, but that's giving the people too much power. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing about governments. They don't want to give a whole lot of power to the people. And when actuality, we don't take many steps to, have the power. So, and not to get into politics, but just looking at the implications of, having a consumption tax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, that is one of those things that you can't escape it, right? What do they say? Death and taxes, you can't escape.
Mm-hmm. You work so hard to pay your land off in your home just to have to continuously pay taxes on it. You're like, do you really own it?
Right, and that's the argument, right? And that is the argument, Okay, so, I finished paying off my home, and you're still asking me to continue paying on land that I purchased and it's already been taxed on and this and that, right?
Uh-huh.
Because that's another thing, because your taxes are based on the purchase price.
Right.
And think about it. The state will never go bankrupt, right? The state will constantly make money, because the houses, especially here, there was a period of time that the houses were going, the boom was ridiculous, But listen, guys, it's already 2:00. We've been on here an hour, and I hate to say I gotta cut it. I got about an hour drive south to go visit my nephew. So, guys, I appreciate it. You guys are gonna keep on, by all means, maintain. Are you guys gonna cut? Oh, you guys are calling?
I'm good. We can call it.
Yeah, I think it's been a good show.
I got more day drinking to do.
Yeah. I will definitely talk to you guys later on tonight. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you guys coming on, as always, supporting us. Once again, we keep on asking you guys to freaking share what you see, and see, hopefully, and like I said, it's not necessarily just only about cigars, as you can tell. I do got one guy from my shop. He just started an apparel, shirt business that he wants to get on with us. So it is cigar-based content on the shirts and stuff like that. But I told him once he gets his stuff ordered, I know he's working on his website, and that's the only thing he's waiting on. So we'll be having him on, hopefully. Smoke Welfare. Hey, I appreciate it. Guys, catch you guys on the next one. Peace.